Walaikum salam, Brother Dean.
All right, good.
Okay.
Walaikum salam, Sister Charlene.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
You look great, brother.
All right, thank you, my sister. All praise
Praise
due to Allah.
be to Allah. It is
Allah
good.
brought me a mighty long way, my sister.
Yes, sir. Brother James, just cut it out. You understand me?
What was that?
You scared me, brother. Praise be to Allah. So, brother James, you can let me know when brother our other guest arrives, okay?
Okay, let me check on that now.
And just let me know, and we can go ahead and
We on
start.
right now, so can you let Hannibal know that we need to come
Brother,
on, if you can.
yeah,
Okay, all right, so like, thank you.
and he has time. Just let me know when he appears,
Okay, Brother William is reaching out to him right now.
Okay, and so you all, I'm used to having producers and board engineers and all of that. So in advance, my apologies for, the flow, but we really want to flow. So, Brother Student Minister Abdul Waliullah, if you are hearing me, are you able to open our session in prayer?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Praise be to Allah. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for
Walaikum salam, sis.
Thank you, sir.
When would you want me to do that?
Oh, we can do that
now.
Go ahead and begin. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me for not being on camera right now. Is that okay?
Oh, you're fine. I'm just glad that you're present. Everyone, it's quite okay.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of the day of requital in which we now live. Thee do we serve, and thee do we beseech for help. Guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not those upon whom wrath is brought down, nor those who've gone astray. I mean.
Oh, praise be to Allah. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Praise be to Allah. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his servant and messenger. I greet you all. Assalamu alaikum. So for any guest, thank you, who may not know what that means, it simply means peace be unto you. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. I'm host and producer of Liberated Sisters, which is a podcast dedicated to the plight of Black women on the planet and our families, our men and children, and our communities, as well as student national correspondent for the Final Call newspaper and other things. So here we are tonight, and thank you for gracing us for my second ever 1 Meal, 1 Mile Improvement podcast, or dialogue with mentors and motivators, and a Q&A. And this 1 Meal, 1 Mile Improvement came about because I didn't put the picture up. Maybe before we go, I can figure out how to do it. But at any rate, it came about because I found myself, other than myself, a long, 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 long way from when I not only first heard the teachings, but when I was actually, prior to hearing the teachings, fit, healthy, 1 meal a day, just made me better. And I would have loved to have said baby weight and all of those other things, but it had become really the mental, spiritual, physical burden, all of the different things that cause individuals to be other than themselves in a physical way. So my journey to that let me realize that maybe some other sisters need a mentor and a motivator as well. Because while we know what to do, we would do it. That's what I would say. Well, you know what to do. What is the struggle with doing it? And I believe that Allah gives us a twin, just as we all come in the ranks. You may look back and realize that you had that one person that out of all of the people in the processing class or moving with you, that one person was a person that was with you, and you were moving right along, and you either processed and you're still with that person today, or maybe not, but you had a friend, a brother, a sister that was there with you, that was a special close friend. And so 1 Meal, 1 Mile Improvement has a host of things that we do. And one of the things that we do is we mentor and we motivate each other. And when I spoke to Student First Officer, Brother James Muhammad, about his ordeal, I found out from our regional student captain, Brother Charlene Muhammad. when I found out that I was crushed, first I wanted to know, how is my brother? And I was late. He was already out of the hospital. So I was like, praise be to Allah.
That's
And
right.
the rest was history. I called him when I was able to. And here we are with our second mentor, motivator, Q&A to find out what did he experience? How did that happen? How did he come back? You look at him, it's beautiful.
Thank
How
you.
did Allah
All
spare
praise to
him?
Allah.
Yes, and you know, this is all in alignment with how to eat to live, which
That's right.
and by from God in person, Master Father Muhammad, by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, messenger of Allah at the time of this writing, but emphatically the Mahdi, the Christ at this time. And so my 1 meal, 1 mile improvement is on that foundation. And what I forgot to mention there, so what I began doing in Los Angeles was eating according to the dietary law and working out with Brother Coach E. Our guest who will be coming on knows him very well. You know him, Brother James, Coach E? Coach Eric.
Is that Coach Eric? Coach Eric?
Yeah, Coach Eric Null. And out of
Okay.
any and everyone in my life on my journey to return to the teachings in the way of eating and nutrition, Coach Eric Null had the greatest results. I hated running. He had me running. Just a very pristine workout plan that's tailored to you. And I loved it. And so I invited sisters to do that with me. We had a MUI beneficiary walkathon, and he was training them on the hill as well before MGT class. So I'll pause on that and give more about that at another time. But we're here to hear from Brother James. We're here to hear from Sister Marcia. I understand that we're going to hear from our big brother, Big U, who is, what is it, artist, producer, talent producer. He works with children, he works with youth, very heavily involved in Crenshaw High, and just man about all things that are impacting our community, peace in the streets, you name it, right, Brother James?
That's right. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
And we will definitely let him speak more on what he does. But so the way I would like this to go, I don't have music, bells, whistles, none of the things like that. But what I do have is an agenda. And so what I would like is for us to hear from our presenter, Brother James first. And he, Brother James, we're going to hear from Sister Marcia. And I would like for you both to kind of dialogue with us because she was one of those who helped you, right? Or is
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think
Her
a
and
lot
her
of
husband,
us
Brother Kurt. I thank Allah for that.
yeah,
That
all
power
praise
couple.
is due to Allah.
Help me to get straight.
That's right.
Shout out to San Diego. I mean,
That's right. Love it. That's right.
Right.
And then what I would like to do is have a Q&A in the middle. So at about 5:35 to like 6:10, perhaps have a Q&A. And no later than 6:15, I would like for us to have closing remarks from Brother James and Sister Marcia, Brother Big U. And then if Student Minister Aliullah is still on the line with us, then he can close us out in prayer. So how does that sound to everyone?
Amazing.
That
Sounds
can't
amazing.
respond. I have you all on mute, but I'll look in the chat. Well, let's go. Thank you for that. And we will announce our next one as well. But for right now, we're gonna begin with our student first officer from the Western region, Brother James Muhammad. Brother J.A.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sister Charlene, for putting it all together. Come on, you win. You win 100%. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, most merciful, we bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and we bear witness that Muhammad is the servant and apostle of Allah. I would like to thank and greet everybody on this blessed Zoom call in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Again, family, I would like to thank everybody on this Zoom call that's dealing with our health due to the fact, that was health is very, very important. It's something that we overlook, whether we go to the gym, whether we running, it's people that run marathons and they find out 5 years later that they have cancer. So, what are we doing wrong? It's people that may go to the gym, and next thing you know, they're on the operating table about to have heart surgery. These are all facts. Some people, walking around with a blood glucose level at 1400. And according to, Sister Marcia, the nurse practitioner, and the health providers would say our sugar is supposed to be from 80 to 130. So my ordeal, to get right to the point, Allah brought me to death door to come back with this information, and it just put me on the course. Everything else I do, I said I definitely have to put health first. So it started on my journey about 2 years ago. I hooked up with a workout team, a very gruesome workout team that's very, very, very serious about their working out, and actually a group of bodybuilders that structure their body and want to develop muscle and want to be fit. So one of my instructors at the time, he was very, very fit, very, very fit. And I asked him, like, what do you eat? Like, what is your discipline? And I was shocked and amazed to hear my trainer tell me. He said, "We follow you. We follow the example of the nation." He said, I normally only eat one time a day. He said, I may eat fruit or do things of that nature, but I only eat one time a day. So after that, I was like, just shocked and amazed. So as I'm going to the gym, I want to bulk up. I just want to bulk up. So am I bulking up? Me being a vegetarian for 30 years, but I couldn't really call myself a vegetarian. I consider myself, the words of Sister Georgette, the other nurse practitioner, told me that I was more of a carbitarian because I was eating more carbs than I was actually eating vegetables. Being in Los Angeles, being on a pretty much a Mexican diet, we familiar with, we eat burritos in a rush, we eating a lot of French fries, we eating tacos, a lot of rice, a lot of corn, all these high carb foods that are carbohydrates. So this is what, I added the bean soup. I had the bean soup along with this, but I also had high carbs. So with this, I began eating and bulking, and I would make smoothies, on a daily basis. My smoothies would consist of a lot of fruit. I would have almond milk. I would put honey in those. I would hit that before the gym with protein, glutamine up in it. I would have the spirulina. I would have the Corilla, all the things that I thought that I was supposed to have up in there. But at the same time, after these smoothies, I would drink zero calorie Gatorades. And on the back of the label on the 0-calorie Gatorades, it'll tell you that it's no sugar added and it's no sugar in this. So being in a rush, I was just, okay, man, cool, no sugar. I read the labels and I would drink this. I would drink these 0 Gatorades after coming from the gym. So after about a month or so of doing this, with this same behavior, I was getting bulky. I was getting cut. I was getting lean, the whole nine. But what happened was when I started going to the gym, I started realizing after about a month and a half of this, that I wasn't getting the same pump that I was when I was going to the gym. Like after about 2 hours of a strenuous workout, none of my muscles was getting tight. Nothing was getting tight anymore. It was like I didn't even work out, So I took a mental note of myself. I said, wait a minute, I'm not feeling no type of nothing. It's not working. So I took a mental note. The first thing that hit me, I said, my kidneys may be going out because it's like I'm not producing anything going to my muscles. So I was like really alarmed. But I said, I'm still going to the bathroom regularly. I'm still cool. So everything, I feel was straight. So after a month time after that, I start feeling myself getting very, very dehydrated, like very, very dehydrated. After I took my mask off, I would have like pieces of foam on the side of my mouth. And I thought at first it was just the mask, on my face. Yeah. But it wasn't that, it was something totally different. my guys at the gym told me, they said, because I wanted to like slim my belly down. So they said, you know, when you start slimming your belly down, you're going to urinate more. They said that's the way that the fat comes off your belly is you urinate more. So after I became dehydrated, you know, my urine levels picked up. You know, I had to go to the bathroom more. So I was feeling like this was all a part of the process. So I really wasn't getting alarmed. I was just like, this was part of the process. I was going to the gym like 2 times a day. At night, I would begin
Every day?
every day. Every day I was going like 2 times a day. I would go in the morning and I would go in at night. Night was more of a cardio. So I would get on the elliptical at night, do about 7.5 to 13 miles. So I start slimming down. Like I really start slimming down. And a lot of my neighbors, you know, that knew I went to the gym, knew my lifestyle. It was alarming when they, you know, from all different nationalities, you know, Latino, Black, you know, they would say, you know, you getting really small. You okay? And me being more, you know, with the bravado, you know, and I really was getting conflicting stories because I was like, well, I'm going to the gym. I'm doing 7.5 miles a day to 13 miles on a bike. And I felt I was just slimming out naturally. Right. But when I went to the mirror and looked at myself on some days, I noticed that my biceps, my triceps, everything started shrinking. It was like my body just started shrinking. It was like my body started looking like a 14-year-old or a 15-year-old. It was like I had no more muscle left. Like all the muscle that I put on for like 2 years, you know, it completely depleted, or it was depleted. I lost a total of like 50 pounds. And all the weight I lost was pretty much muscle. Wow. I lost a lot of muscle, like 50 pounds. So, you know, thanks to like, you know, believers, you know, in the nation, you know, that came to my aid during this crisis when I was going through it, you know, that realized, you know, that I was, you know, getting smaller. You know, Brother Steve and his wife, Sister Leah, really came to my aid, prepared bean soup for me. He called me when he heard from Brother Allen that came to my apartment, and Brother Allen said, man, you know, you he didn't really say anything. He called Brother Steve because me and Brother Steve Muhammad is very close. So he called Brother Steve Muhammad and said, man, have you seen J.A. lately? He lost a whole lot of weight. But in my mind, I haven't lost any weight. Right. Like, you know, I was in denial. Like I'm doing all these miles. I was like in denial. Yeah, I just was in denial. Brother, Sister Marcia and Brother Kurt, you know, that walked me through the process. You know, when I called them and let them know what my diagnosis was and my prognosis. Brother Captain Shahid and Sister Tiffany, Brother Larry and Sister Kimberly, Sister Brandy, that pretty much came to my aid, you know, when it was all bad, and even prepared the right meals for me, you know, based on, you know, the instructions that she got from Sister Marcia and Brother Kurt and Sister Georgette and the doctors in the hospital, Brother Halim and Sister Halima. Both called me.
Brandy Dean, our first officer at Regional Headquarters. Thank you.
Dean, Sister Brandy Dean. She definitely came to my aid. Yeah. You know, she came to my aid. Actually, Brother Steve had called her. Sister Brandy normally sells food to the brothers that's in need, and you know, she had brung food she had brung food to me. And when she brung food to me, she was like, you know, you look terrible. You know, and she decided, like, you know, her and Steve decided to take me to the ER immediately.
Hey, to Allah.
They took me to the and Steve met me at the ER. When I was working out, I was down. My workout goals was to get to 220 because I was at 225. When I got to the ER, I was at 170 pounds. I had no idea that I was at 175 pounds. They took my blood sugar. My blood sugar was 360, which was through the roof, you know. And that immediately took me to USC, and I was admitted to USC very quickly. That was the quickest I ever been admitted to a hospital for diabetic ketoacidosis.
My God.
You know, which is a 50-50 chance, you know, of survival rate in that type of situation. So that's pretty much where we was at with it. And I was just getting, thoughts and words from Allah. Like we got to do more with our health. We got to go back to what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, teaches us, when it comes to eating correctly. I had trust issues with the doctors, didn't want to even deal with the doctors, but now I'm very open to going to the doctors, and I'm gonna spread this message through the complete FOI. I want to give a shout out to the Supreme Captain that just launched Fitness for Farrakhan. Very concerned about the FOI and the MGTs, and they concerned. So that's the agenda that we pushing. I'm gonna put my company behind it. I'm gonna put my experience behind it. What it is. So nutrition is what I'm pushing from this point out. So
may I show the shirt? Is it okay?
Yeah, show the shirt, please.
Is it okay? Okay.
Yeah, show the shirt. Show the shirt, please.
I'll try to do it, and thank you for that, Brother James. Brother James, when you were telling me, I didn't even know some of how far down in weight you got, but
right.
But again, you were doing what you're saying is the best eating according to how to live. But again, as you mentioned with the Gatorade, and the enemy knows what to put: organic, no sugar, different things. But as we were talking about earlier today, sometimes you got to read the label in 3 different places, because that U and that K doesn't cut it anymore. There's a store here.
Old school. That's old school. I said that's old school. Just looking at the K or the U on the bottom, we said, "Oh, that's coaching. So let's get it."
That's
but
right.
It goes beyond that now. It definitely goes beyond that.
You're right. And what your deal is telling me is we're close. We're really there. Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, "What we don't grow, we won't eat."
Yes.
And so, you really made me think of something. There's a store where I'm visiting right now, and they have a major organic section. The fruit is beautiful. Oh, the signs are beautiful, but they're not organic.
They're not.
At all.
Not.
But
They're
people
not.
who don't know how to really read the labels on fruit and the different PLU codes are getting duped,
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for sharing your ordeal with us.
Yes.
You didn't have to, and I feel that this is going to help save so many people. It helped quicken my pace.
Right.
And if we could, as you mentioned her, Sister Marcia, if you could bring in and tell us a little bit about ketoacidosis. Because when I heard you say that, Brother James, I've heard of this keto diet. People talk about this keto diet. You go to the store, you see these keto labels, but what is that, and how did it cause him to break down? How did it cause all of his muscles to break down, Sister Marcia?
Well, first, when you look at diabetic ketoacidosis, which is on the rise right now, so you're not, it's happened. I'm seeing so many people in the hospital, in their 30s, late 20s, coming in with diabetic ketoacidosis because people are walking around with undiagnosed diabetes, and given today's way of eating, fast foods and the processed foods and everything like that, people do not cook anymore. So diabetic ketoacidosis is basically a complication of people that have diabetes already, and the body produces excess blood acids. The blood acids are what is called the ketones. Okay. And the reason they say diabetic ketoacidosis is because it has always been something that happened to people with diabetes already. But like I said, now there's on a rise because people don't cook anymore. People don't read nutrition facts. They don't read nutrition labels. They just grab and go. And we're in a society where people just want immediate gratification, and they don't want to take the time to chop those vegetables or, take the time to cook the fresh foods. So in that, what happens is the sugar levels, glucose levels, go extremely high. 360, that's a high number, but I've seen that 1400, I've seen that 1500 in a patient. And of course, they're trying to talk to me, but they're confused, because when your blood glucose gets that high, you are acidic, because sugar is an acid. And so when that acid occurs, what they're looking at when they test your blood, they're looking at the anion gap. That anion gap is looking at what is the relationship between the bicarb, which is the base part, and the CO2, which is the acid part. When you have the ketoacidosis, there's a huge gap, and that gap is not supposed to be there. That's saying that there's no balance. So with the ketoacidosis, the carbon dioxide, the CO2 levels are very high, and that is acid. So with that acid, then your body tends to shut down because there's no balance, like I said. So the pancreas is trying to produce insulin, is trying to do what it's supposed to do to bring down this glucose, because it's sensing that, oh, I need to work, I need to work. But for some reason, either your body is not responding to the insulin, or you're just resistant to it. So what happens is, because it's building up, these keto acids are forming. Okay, so that means that your liver is going to come into play, because it's going to process all this sugar and all this fat that's happening within you. So you got a whole multi-organ system that's going on, and your body is just trying to correct it. Because when Allah created our bodies, He created our bodies to sustain itself. All we have to do is add the right foods, add the right products, and the body can take care of itself. That's why we have the heart that beats on its own, the lungs. Because have we ever tried to go without breathing? You can't. Your body's going to kick in and say, oh, I need to breathe. So that goes with the pancreas, the gallbladder, the liver, all these things. They are in a system and they know how to operate. So when something like a high blood sugar kicks in, it's like, oh my God, I need to do this. Oh my God, I need to do this. Everybody's talking, the brain is functioning. So when this can't happen, so you have your liver that's working and it's trying to process more fat. So this is where that keto diet thing comes in, because they are eating more fat than sugar. So they're like, oh, low carb to no carb. So they're eating all this high fat foods. Okay, well, now you're going to overwork your liver, because your liver is what's going to process all this fat to try to make fuel, which is energy, out of it. So you have people that's having fatty liver, or some of them are having scarring of the liver, which is leading them into liver cirrhosis. So you're having a lot of problems that's going on there, and you're not supposed to consume that much fat. Okay, there's a balance to everything. So when the liver is converting the fat into fuel, that is where ketones are made also. So it's ketones, okay, that they're using, yet it's burning, and people are losing weight with it. But at the same time, this causes you to become acidic. And when a body is acidic, that is what disease love. So that's why, they say you need to alkalinize the body and drink the alkaline water and everything like that, because you're trying to create that balance to keep the acid down. So with the DKA, like I said, you have this huge anion gap, because you have all this acid that's floating around in your blood, and that in the bicarb part, which is the base part, has been suppressed. So now everything is trying to get itself back together. So that's why people in DKA have to go to the hospital, because now you need outside help to bring that balance back. The first thing they're going to do is flood your system with normal saline, which is going to flush out the system. Normal saline is salt water. Okay, that salt in it is going to help the bicarb come up, and then it's going to make you urinate, yes, but it's still going to try to bring back that balance to the body. So we're checking your blood sugars every 1 hour, which Brother James, I'm pretty sure he knows about.
That's right.
You're checking your blood sugar, and they're putting you on an insulin drip. Right. So now you're getting outside insulin, because like I said, your pancreas can't keep up. So it's a very serious illness, and it's something that needs to be in the hospital. And most of these people are in the hospital for about 1 to 3 days. And a lot of them, they complain of the headache, they complain of the sweating, they complain of the abdominal pain, nausea, things like that. They come in really bad shape. And so the reason you were getting so small, because it was muscle wasting. That all that sugar was just eating you up, and your body was trying to keep up. This healthy system now has this abnormality, so it's trying to correct itself. So it was muscle wasting. Yes, you were urinating, but you were urinating all these acids that your body was trying to pull off, but the imbalance was there.
Yes.
And as long as we do not have that balance, then the body's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And eventually it shuts down.
Right.
So, like I was telling Brother James, we need to have a relationship with ourselves where we know what our body is trying to tell us.
Yes.
So, because before every serious illness, before it manifests 100%, it's giving you signs of what's going on. The first question we ask when people come in with a heart attack, did you have symptoms before? And they'll say, oh yeah, I felt a little tinge, or I felt a little something, but I didn't think nothing of it. And the same like you, Brother James. Yeah, you had the urination and I was losing weight, but no, I didn't see myself as losing weight. And your body was trying to tell you, help, I need help, too much is going on. And I usually educate my patients on that, where have a relationship with yourself. See what's going on with your body. Just lay sometimes in the bed, analyze how you feel, because the body will talk to you, because that's the way Allah made it. And we are renting these bodies from Allah. And the best thing we could do is try to keep it in the best shape, which you were trying to do. But at the same time, people at the gym, the intention is good, but the way that they tend to go about these intentions can be harmful. And, just like at GNC, you see all these muscle boosters and all these powders and proteins and this and that and da, 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 da. But at some point, a lot of them have a lot of amino acids and this and that. How is it going to fit you? And you have to look at that. It's not one fit all. We all have our little tweaks and things like that, and we have to figure what works for us. That's why we have How to Eat to Live, because if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing from How to Eat to Live, you're going to know what your body wants. You're going to know what your body likes and what it doesn't like. Because if you eat your one meal a day and then you realize, oh, I really don't feel good, you can track back what you ate and see if you have a sensitivity to that particular food or not.
I bear witness.
So yes, and that is something that we all need to take into account. Oh, I'm bloated. Oh, I don't feel good. Oh, I have headaches, this and that. It's related to something that we're doing. It's not always just stress. So, that is a big push that I have for people. Listen to yourself, because yourself is going to tell you what it wants and what it don't want.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you to you and to all of those that Brother James listed in terms of the angels that Allah sent and worked through to bring him back to his optimum health. Brother James, you don't know, I'm so glad to see you. And also just in terms of my health,
Right, yes, ma'am.
We're getting ready for Q&A. But before we do, Brother James, I want to ask you, is there anything you would like to say in line, or any thought you had as Sister Marcia was speaking that you would want to share?
Yes, I would like to share, just to clear the record, exactly what I went through. After coming out the hospital, I was given insulin, in which I had to take 4 insulin shots a day. I had to take 5 units. They put me on a meal plan where I had to eat 3 meals a day, because every time you eat, you're supposed to apply the insulin before you eat. I had 5 units for breakfast, 5 units for lunch, 5 units for dinner, and then I have to shoot myself with a long-lasting insulin at night. Now, this is not the way I was used to eating 3-4 times a day. When you go into the hospital, they tell you the legumes, the beans. They tell you the beans is high in protein, and we know that the navy bean is one of the most superior beans, the most superior being on the planet. So, you know, after my ordeal, coming out, changing my menu, after being a vegetarian, or I might say a carbitarian, because I ate more carbs for 30 years. For the first time in 30 years, I had to begin to eat salmon at least once a week, by taking instructions from Sister Marcia, taking instructions from Sister Georgette, you know, about the salmon, you know, it may be good for the diet to add some protein and some vitamin D. So I took these instructions. After being on my diet for a week, Sister Marcia, I told her my scores. I reported my scores, and you know, her and Brother Kurt, you know, both was on the line, and she said, "Okay, drop." I mean, very professional. I thank Allah for her and her son. I thank Allah for her and her husband. I thank Allah for the believers. With her medical and professional opinion, she told me, Brother James, drop the lunch insulin and the lunch meal. So I dropped the lunch and the insulin for the lunchtime. The following day, I called him the very next day when I did that. And my score dropped dramatically. My glucose levels went down to 100. That was like the lowest score I've had through the ordeal. I continue to follow those instructions. Eventually, you know, I'm here to say that after coming out to the hospital, I just did my checkup with my doctor. Thursday, I applied more bean soup to my diet. Instead of just having one vegetable, we think we only supposed to have one vegetable. I'm having 3 vegetables now with my meals. Instead of just one vegetable, I'm having a healthy salad, which is the fibers that you put in your body to really flush you. So, you know, after, you know, I took my record book of my insulin, my glucose levels to the doctor, and to this day, you know, I was taken off of insulin after 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, we're listening to our medical practitioners, you know, in the nation, telling you that the truth is in the nation. That's why I feel we need our own hospitals and our own clinics, because, you know, we have all the professionals that we need to pull this off. But listening to her and her husband, you know, and other individuals in our nation, you know, I was able to go to my doctor. They were shocked at my blood pressure scores. My blood pressure scores were excellent. Wow. You know, my glucose level was excellent. You know, my sisters, you know, they, you know, they walk with me every day around a trail. You know, I walked the trail. Yesterday I did 5.1 miles. I was doing like 2 or 3 miles, you know, dumbbell work. You know, I was light exercise. And through all that with constant prayer. Now prayer was a part of the exercise as well. And they also said that you need meditation when you're going through all this, when you're going through sicknesses, and when you're going through stressful times. Prayer is a form of meditation, you know, that your body needs. So prayer serves as the excellent meditation where you can get in tune with Allah or with your God, whatever anyone choose to call him. I began to watch a series of documentaries on diabetes and heart conditions and high blood pressure, what affects the Black community, you know, and it all led to leave the meat alone. You know, get on a plant-based diet, deal with the beans, deal with the salads, you know, and every doctor, you know, on these documentaries and everyone that I Googled, you know, all bear witness to, you know, a plant-based diet in which we were supposed to be on. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in fact, put us on a plant-based diet with the navy beans. So I would just like to thank Allah and thank the believers that prayed for brother. I'm 1,000%, you know, in a recovery zone. I learned my lesson. I learned my nutritional errors. I learned the mistakes I made. You know, I'm more knowledgeable. I'm more wiser. You know, I'm a whole lot stronger, you know, going through this ordeal. You know, even though I went through this ordeal, Allah assured me that he was going to bring me through.
Pray.
You know,
to Allah.
So he brought the help to me. And I just want to deliver that message to the believers. You know, let's push, fitness for Farrakhan. And let's just use our personal experiences. So that's what I'd like to add, Sister Charlene. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And look, I want to show the shirt, and I want to read something from How to Eat to Live, and then I would love to take the questions next. Let me see how I can do that. Okay, one moment, please. One moment. I have a lot on my screen, but I want you to see the T-shirt mostly. Can you all see that shirt?
That's beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
I know, don't mind my other little work product on here. But this is the shirt, and thank you for sharing it, Brother James. Can you have a full screen of that now, everyone?
Yes, we do.
Yes, ma'am.
So NOI Fitness for Farrakhan, 1 meal a day. I almost fell down when I saw it. I love it. Brother James, thanks so much for sharing that. And it's amazing. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but classic with all of the different things you share and go through, Brother James. A lot of the groundbreaking things I feel are groundbreaking that I've done, you've been involved in. 1 meal, 1 mile fitness began with the sisters, but I always had an intention of including or doing something with and for brothers, especially since Coach E was a component at the time. And I'm going to open up the group because we have it. Facebook is back up today. Got shut down for a minute, but what do you think, Brother James? Do you think you would like to be a part of that? And because what we do is we just mentor and we motivate pretty much like this, and we share. Absolutely. We share whether it's something from the teachings, whether it's something that we, like lessons learned or recipes, whatever it is, but it's righteous and it's all out of this foundation. Okay, good. Well, I'll do that. I'll send you the information and we can push it out that way. I want to read this, and then brothers and sisters, please, any questions that you have for them, I want you to participate that way, and especially also, am I still screen sharing? I don't know.
No, not right now.
I'm sorry to be doing all this. You wouldn't think I have radio training. If whatever comment you have, let's keep them to, if we could, 2 minutes, but I want you to ask a question as well. When you share, please ask the guests a question as well. And let's get as much knowledge and information as possible. And Sister Marcia, before we go, I want you to let us know if we're able to be seen by you, if you understand what I'm saying, in terms of a preventive way, or if someone is having something they're dealing with health-wise now. And we will, at another session, inshallah, reach out to Sister Drajette, because I wanted to have enough people that you all could hear from. Okay, so here's from How to Eat to Live, Book 1, from God in Person, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This is the book. He received this from God in Person. On page 23, the chapter is 1 meal a day. And on page 23, speaking in terms of the sugar, he says, this is the last paragraph. He says, surely sugar diabetes can be controlled and driven out with your abstinence from eating sugar and starchy foods. So that's no eating sugar and starchy foods. And with your corrected way of eating once a day or once every other day, if started in time, you will become negative of sugar in your blood. If you are a victim of sugar diabetes, you should not eat white or sweet potatoes. And even if you are not a victim of diabetes, you should not eat too much of any starchy food, such as potatoes, and positively no sweet potatoes. You should be careful of eating this type of food. He speaks throughout both books extensively on sugar, these types of food to eat and not eat, and especially staying away from the swine. So as I am going to be taking your questions from the chat, if there are any, as well as the mic, if you raise your hand, then I can see that, and then I can go ahead and unmute you, and you can ask your questions. Okay, brothers and sisters, you are with 1 meal, 1 mile improvement program or improvement movement. And what we do is just lift each other up in our journey in how to eat to live and fitness, nutrition, whatever it is that we need on our individual level. And so We have our panelists tonight, our brother James Muhammad, our first officer of Muhammad Mosque number 27, Western Regional Headquarters, and Sister Marcia Muhammad, a beautiful, beautiful, skilled critical care nurse who is a member of the nation at Muhammad Mosque number 8 in San Diego. So we have a question in the chat.
One correction, sis.
Oh, yes.
It's Marcia X.
Oh, I'm sorry, and I put it on the flyer. Thank you.
That's okay. That's okay. I am Muhammad in heart. Yes, I am.
Ma'am. Thank you so much. I apologize.
Right.
For the regular flyer.
Right.
It's already out, but I'll make a new one and put it up.
That's okay.
So the question is, from Sister Tiffany, what contributed mostly to your illness, Brother James?
What contributed when I look back over a 3-month period, what contributed most was my diet. I was heavy on the potatoes. I was heavy on rice. I was heavy on the Mexican diet, burritos. When I got bean soup, I was heavy on the bread. I was real heavy on drinks that contain artificial sugars. You know, I call myself like I'm gonna get to 0 sugars, but I end up drinking Surclose, which is, you know, it's made from real sugar, but it's artificial sugar, and it takes your sugar level up even higher. So I was drinking these 0 sugar Gatorades. I was drinking probably 5 of those a day. You know, when I started feeling myself dehydrated and water didn't have any taste for me, I needed something with taste. So I drink like 2 of those before I go to the gym, and I'll drink 2 after. Another thing that contribute was the energy bars. You know, I rationalized it. I used deceptive intelligence. Like I said, I learned my nutritional errors. When I prepare a meal for myself, whether it was like, you know, lento tacos, whether it was lento chili, you know, I would eat 1 or 2 energy bars. You know, realizing that these particular things have sugar in it as well. And then I would add all these carbs to my diet, you know, taco shells, burrito shells, you know, all this type of stuff in abundance. And I believe pretty much it was the diet, because I can't say it wasn't my working out, because I was dedicated to the gym. You know, I'm doing 7.5, 13 miles a day on the elliptical machine, or, you know, a bike. So I couldn't say it was that. You know, I was doing strength training, so I couldn't say it was the workout. So I would say that my diet being off from what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, because my drinking smoothies after a workout, or drinking liquid yogurt after a workout that had all this sugar in it, and drinking energy bars after my workout was really me eating 5 or 6 meals a day. You know, I would eat an energy bar, then an hour later I have another energy bar, and I rationalize it like, oh, I'm feeding my muscles need this. Oh, let me go drink a couple of yogurts, you know, my muscles need this. Wow. But when I look at it, I was eating like 5, 6 times a day.
Wow, thank you, Brother James. And sugar, wow, this is amazing. I got to just say, How to Eat to Live. You can purchase these books 1 and 2 at store.finalcall.com, or, well, we're not at our mosque. Because I know some mosques had bookstores, but store.finalcall.com, store.finalcall.com. Brother Lee Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. My question is for Sister Marcia. I don't mind sharing that I just had a stroke 2 weeks ago, and was released from the hospital.
You, brother, you?
Yes, ma'am.
Be to Allah. Look at this, brother.
Oh, praise be
to Allah.
And so I am currently on medication. And so it was due to high blood pressure and high cholesterol. My blood pressure got up to 200 over 144. And my question, Sister Marcia, is, am I supposed to still eat 1 meal a day while I'm taking this medication? attempting to get my blood pressure down and my cholesterol down, because of course, many people are telling me that, listen, your body needs some food to go along with that medication. So they're suggesting that I at least eat twice a day, and I'm not certain what I should do. Could you please advise me?
Good question.
Well, I know that the medication that they have you on is a statin, and you're only taking it once a day, correct? Right. And even the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he has said that, you know, he was eating once a day, even though he was on medication. And if I'm wrong, Brother Abdul Waliullah, let me know. And so by Allah's grace, heal himself along with How to Eat to Live, that helped him get better. And saying that you're taking the medication once a day, you're not taking it all day long.
Yeah.
So I truly believe in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the words that he has given. And you are taking this medication, I believe if it's
I take it in the morning.
Oh, you take it in the morning. Okay. Because if you're taking a medication once a day, you could take it, unless it's like a diuretic where it's pulling off water, you could take it when you have your meal. And so just make sure your meal has all the necessary components, be it the proper amount of protein, the proper amount of hydrate during this time, because when people are taking meds, these meds are acting on the liver and the kidneys. And like you said, your cholesterol is high. Cholesterol goes high because of what we're putting in our bodies. It's not something where your body's just going to keep producing. It's going to be an effect we're putting into our bodies. So I would say that one meal a day, continuing on with How to Eat to Live, take your medication, eat. That way you're not taking your medication on an empty stomach, and it has something to bind to in order for it to flow and come out the other end, the excess. So, and you're also giving your body nutrients to be able to gird up to fight whatever excess is going on, you know. So if you're eating low salt, low fat, okay, because of the cholesterol issue, so you want to continue with that. And you want the low salt because that's going to help bring down that blood pressure. People who eat salty diets tend to have high blood pressure because salt makes you retain water, which is going to increase the volume in the body, which is going to increase the pressure. So you want to have low salt. You don't want to be eating all that salt because it's not good for the high blood pressure. First thing we do in the hospital when people come in, low salt, low fat, people are complaining the food has no taste. Oh my God. Learn how to cook with spices. Learn how to cook with the basil, the thyme, the rosemary, cumin, turmeric. Those things, when you learn how to cook with all those spices, you don't need all that salt, because now you're going to actually taste the food and not the salt. So to answer your question, like you said, the medication is once a day. You eat once a day.
Yes.
Take the medication with the meal. The food is going to bind to the medication. Let the medication do what it do. The rest of it, excrete it out.
Thank you, Mr. Marcia, and thank you so much, Brother James. And I forgot, I'm sorry, Brother Lee. Yes, Brother James, but this allows me to say what I should have said in the beginning, which is that this 1 Meal, 1 Mile improvement does not of itself give any medical advice. We're not a medical program, but just mentors and motivators. Sister Marcia is absolutely in the medical profession. And so thank you for that, sister. And we must say, seek, of course, your doctor's consultation before you start any exercise program or change your diet or what have you. And brother, thank Allah for sparing your life, Brother Lee. And thank you for sharing. All praises due to Allah. Brother James, do we know if brother is on with us before we continue?
Let me find that out right now. Let me see if he's available.
Okay, got it. I'm sorry, I'm hearing some people. Apologies, everyone. So, Sister Marcia,
Yes.
do you do any type of health assessments and what have you along that line for anyone who may be interested that's on the webcast, or what is this called? The Zoom meeting?
Just for transparency and clarity, I am a critical care nurse. I'm not a nurse practitioner. Mm-hmm. So I work on critical care units. My specialty is emergency medicine, intensive care, step down, those type of things. So as Sister Charlene said, everything that I'm saying is only advice or suggestion. Is not something that I'm telling you to do. What you do is your decision. I'm only here to be an ear, a word of comfort, a word of advice, okay? Far as the assessments that I do are the assessments that I do when I'm at work. But I am a lover. I'm so in love with How to Eat to Live. I'm so in love with the nation. And I love to teach people to be that, because most of us, let me just say this. Mm-hmm. Most of us know what we're supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. But how many of us are doing what we're supposed to be doing? You know what I mean? So sometimes you need to talk it out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you need to know that you're not alone in this that you're going through. Oh my God, I ate when I wasn't supposed to eat. Oh my God, I ate 2 meals. Oh my God, this, and this. We're not perfect. We're striving to be in that spot. We're striving to do as we're supposed to do. That's why we have each other. So far as the assessments, like I said, I do it when I'm at work, but I am available to help people in the way of, let's talk it out. Let's find out what is going wrong. What is your thought process? Because we have to address our mental first before we can address our physical. Because if we're messed up here,
that's right,
we're going to be messed up here. Yeah. Because you need the clarity here in order for the information to penetrate, in order for the self-application to occur. And that is something that I've learned through the years, where I can read this book and read this book and read this book, but until I apply it to myself and learn how to apply it to myself, it's just there, you know. And that is my goal, to help people with that self-application of the information that we have at hand.
Thank you, sister, for that. So you all heard it there, and her number is in the chat and her email if you want to talk it out. And so we're going to unmute. It says iPhone LaShawn. I'm not sure, but I see your hand there. I'm going to unmute you now. And you have the floor.
Hi, how's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm LaShawn. I am Brother James' sister.
Oh, praise be to Allah.
And I want to thank you guys for having this forum to give everybody insight on how dangerous certain things can be. Because James was very fit. Diabetes runs on our side of the family, but James was the most healthiest person in the family. Or I'm going to say this, he was eating to live. And with this was the shock. And Sister Marcia, I haven't personally met you, but I know that you've been very influential with my brother over these last few weeks. Sister Brandy, I don't know if she's on here, but Sister Brandy was coming through and cooking. And then there's Sister Georgette, who I believe is also a nurse, that was calling and, you know, working with him. And, you know, God is an awesome God. And the transition that James has made over these few weeks is incredible. You know, the way he's eating now, we're out there walking, which is also a blessing for me as well. So I just wanted to get on here. I've been listening to you guys, but just to thank each and every one of you for being an influential part of my brother's recovery and the healing. And, you know, it's not over yet because this is every day. And this forum right here is going to help someone else. We might not even know who's listening that needs to hear this information. And that's why it is so important and such a blessing. And I just wanted to say thank you guys.
Praise be to God. Thank you. We love you. You know, we love, Brother James is our heart. Okay. Cannot have anything happen to Brother James or any one of us. You know, I heard student minister Dr. Muhammad say that we don't belong to ourselves, we belong to the nation. And the Black nation needs what we all have. But, you know, Brother James, I'm telling you, it's such a beautiful thing that it was just a no-brainer, right? It just clicked. I said, oh, you got to talk about this. Please come and do my show. And I was going to take it to Liberated Sisters, but I think this was a much better place because we could have more people. And I'm so glad you opened the mic and said a few words, Sister LaShawn. Thank you so much. Before we continue, I would like to ask you, Student Minister Abdul Waliullah, we're not there at the show yet, but I want to get some spiritual words of guidance to get a spiritual component to what we're saying here. Oh, and by the way, your hand is up. Perfect timing. Here we go. Look at God. Assalamu alaikum. Again. There you go, Brother Minister.
You're muted.
Unmute. I'm asking you to unmute, brother. There we go.
Okay, we can hear you.
Praise in the name of the merciful. For an excellent show, Brother James. Thankful to Allah, brother, for recovery and all that. I didn't know all that you had went through because I know we spoke maybe about 8-9 months ago. No, I knew nothing of that at the time. And of course, one of our great medical team in the city of San Diego, Sister Marcia, the last almost 18 months, we have convened every Monday a meeting, keeping the believers in San Diego in tune, and her and Sister Danielle, our other medical personnel, have been fantastic. I just wanted to add to what Sister Marcia mentioned in relations to medication, and she's 100% correct. The minister during Ramadan was taking medication in order to continue his fast of Ramadan. He realized that he could take the medication in the evening along with his regular meal, and so he did that. And I'd also like to read that, you know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad adds to that, that there's time that you can do that and there's time that you can't do that. I think that's something that have to be weighed. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in How to Eat to Live, I think this is book 2 on page 153, chapter 45. He said, eat one meal every 24 hours if you are not sick. Sometimes when people are ill, in order to keep up their strength, they must eat. And so it's something that you have to weigh where you're able to do it. And that's why when I have spoke to different people have asked that question, I said, well, sometimes if you have to take a small bowl of oatmeal with your medication, something real simple, not to eat a full breakfast, you know, some turkey bacon, you know, 2 pieces of toast, bagel, you know, salmon lock, no, and some egg, you know, just eat something real light to take the medication that Sister Marcia say to help just hold the stomach, but then really strive to eat your one meal a day. So it is something that you have to look at to see how your strength is going, particularly as she mentioned, the things that it affect your liver, your kidney. And I trust them, you know, just so great in what they have done here, and how many believers, including my family, that Sister Marcia has helped, include my mother when she was here. She tended her in the ER room, you know, and everything. So I'm grateful. We do have a sister in the city of San Diego that has a clinic. She's another one of our medical professionals, Sister Danielle. And I'm not sure she's very, or you know, she
10 minutes on our bike.
Something that just opened maybe a few months ago. In the chat, I see Brother E is on Brother Joe Henderson. I think that may be, I'm not sure whose mic is open.
That was Brother Big U. Yeah.
That's Big. How you doing, you? Been a long
Hey,
time.
how you doing? Assalamu alaikum.
For me, man. How you doing?
Doing all right. How you doing, Aki?
Man, I'm blessed, God. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, big you. So I'm going to close right there and just say, I think, sister, I'm going to ask Brother Charles E. I'll put in the chat. I'll ask Walia if she could put Sister Danielle's information. She does assessment. She does those type of things.
Wonderful.
Call her office number. You know, if Sister Marcia is not available to help. It is a fee, a very small fee that she charge, but she give you access to telemedicine and things of those nature. And their goal is to develop into a full-fledged clinic and maybe what we call a urgent care facility, which is something that's not a lot in our communities. So I've just support Sister Marcia said 100% correct. You can take that medication at one time when you eat your meal. And the minister did do that. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad also tells us if you're ill and you need your strength, then at that time, and he also said the Holy Quran teaches us to fast. Say there is no particular regulation set up on those who are ill. The sick are not required to take a fast, and this makes sense. That's what he says in How to Eat to Live. So you have to guard that, but we also have to, we know that discipline and regulating the body is very important. So that's all I wanted to add. And I would just say, you know, all that y'all have added, with Sister Marcia, Brother James, and yourself have added, you'll put the spiritual context into it. At the end of the day, you know, our obedience to God and living accordingly. But we also had the warning that Brother James and I take very loud. Just because we think we're healthy, that we're doing certain things, if we're not eating the right balance. And you were a carb, what were you again? You were in a
carbitarian, not a vegetarian. I was in the carbs. You were carbitarian, man. I thought I was a vegetarian.
To get away from the potatoes, the bread, the rice.
Yeah,
so
carbitarian.
I thank Allah that you're doing well, Brother Lee, as well. And Sister Marcia, as always, yes. I'm so thankful to what you do. And I know Brother Lee and his interaction, not Brother Lee, Brother Kirk and his interaction with all of the region and what he does. So we thank Allah for y'all. Thank y'all. I see San Diego representing well on the call as well. Sister Charlene, I'm going to turn it back over to you. I'll be quiet until it's time to say prayer.
Thank you so much for that, man. I love San Diego. Thank you so much, Brother Minister. And I'll put you there on mute, and then we will. Oh, you did already. That's right. Here, let's bring in Brother Big U. Here we go. 1 second, Brother Big U. I have it right here. There we go. In for a treat. Special guest, another. So allow me to unmute you, brother. Oh, there. Oh. Did we get it? One more time. Praise be to brother, are you unmuted? Yes.
Yeah, I'm unmuted, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for coming on the 1 Meal, 1 Mile to share with us at the invitation of Brother James. And this is really heavy, everybody, because there's about 35 people on the line. That's just on the line. We don't know who's listening in the household with them. So, brother, thank you for gracing us to share your testimony, your health journey, and how you're also helping others.
Yes.
Well, you know, my life mission is to help people. I've been dealing with this. I don't deal with it no more. I dealt with it at one point in my life, and that's when I was really kind of eating crazy and running the streets crazy. So it wasn't just the food intake; it was kind of the crazy intake also at the same time.
Yeah,
and so it was a Brother Malik Muhammad when he had took me in to study hall 26 in the early 80s. I was really, really young and really, really heavy, and I was really just kind of like, I don't even want to say all the stuff I was eating and consuming, but it had a lot to do with a little wiggly thing. So.
Yeah. Understood. You and others. Is this Brother Malik and Brother James? You help me, Brother Mikhail, Sister Kabasa, Sister Hania's father, the great soldier.
Right, absolutely.
Soldier. Yes, sir. Okay.
That's right.
Thank you.
And the brother saved my life by giving me how to eat to live. Then he asked me, "Can you read?"
What you tell
So I said, yes, I can, but I don't know if I want to. But and it was a life journey, and I can tell you, I lost a lot of weight. I lost a lot of weight at that time, but not only was I able to help myself, I was able to go change the diet in my mother's house, my mother's house, my auntie house. Cause I had like a lot of black men. I had a lot of black men had a lot of influence in a lot of houses I didn't realize at that time. And so when he gave me the book, he also gave me a life journey and a life mission to change a lot of people's lives. And so I do diabetes walks, I do diabetes education, and I bring the community together, and we pick these different themes that we go through to teach people. And at the root of everything I do is our teachers from our Savior and our messenger, you know, Master Surprise Muhammad, and then his messenger, our great and our father, and all himself, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So it's always been that information, that walk that's always strengthened me as a person to move in this community, you know, and everything I do it from a basis of that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And trying to be a proper example of what we can do and where we can come from. And like I said, it's not only been just a change in the eating, it was a change in the conversation and the ignorance that I was so often taking in. You know what I mean? It wasn't just and I think that's what people be missing. That, you know what I mean, most of our time is like either we so trained to celebrate that we celebrate wrong.
Ooh, teach them.
We celebrate success wrong.
Yes.
You know? And that's where a lot of our problems come from. We taught that when you celebrate, go get drunk, go eat a big fat meal, go do some things that's unhealthy.
Yeah. That's really true. That's really true. Brother, when did you start the walks and when is your next one?
We haven't really planned another one because of COVID. So we haven't really, I think we haven't did none in 2 years. It's really been because of COVID.
Wow.
And
thank you. We are in COVID, duh.
Huh?
I said, yeah, duh, it is COVID.
And I mean, I'm fighting these people about this shot that I'm not gonna get. I'm dealing with these people trying to tell me about my contract right now, and about this shot. Nobody in my family has a shot, you know.
Bless you.
Wonderful.
And I'm just like, I seen one brother post, are you gonna listen to Hitler, Biden, Trump, or are you gonna listen to the minister? What? Is there a question?
No brainer.
Go ahead. That's right.
Is there a question?
Yeah, we want to live, right?
You're gonna have to tie me up to get me to put that thing in my arm.
That's right.
I'm just not gonna do it.
That's right.
You know, I've been like I said, we're in a strange atmosphere right now with these Europeans and the way that they moving. And it's so threatening right now because I'm confused on how I'm gonna deal with this education system. I'm getting my boys because they in school and they tell them that if they go to school, they gotta have a shot. So now at the Crenshaw, they tell the kids they got to get the shot before a certain period of time. So
we have Muhammad University of Islam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, the governor just put that mandate down for those who are eligible. But at any rate, you know.
But we need to be ready to separate. And, you know, when it comes down to it, brother,
You know, there's no question when it comes to the shot that the answer is no, whether it be for you, your children, because we are their line of protection. And then it leads you to ask the question, are you ready to separate? Because if it's a question of get the shot or go to school, that's not even a question.
Right.
You know? And we do have MUI that is here for our children to teach our way of life. And it's the right way of life. So, I mean, there really shouldn't be any confusion there, brother. I mean, if that's the ultimatum that you're given, the answer you already know.
Thank you, Sister
Yes,
Marcia.
because see, right now what's happening with me, I can say no, and my daughter's definitely not getting so many of my kids, because I got a program with 300 babies in it, and the parents
Wonderful.
are not as situated as I am to be able to move out and change that. So right now I'm talking to a lot of parents, and maybe in the next couple of weeks we can all get together and be set up to be able to help suffice these young mothers. I got a lot of young mothers that's single mothers, and they just don't want to do homeschooling no more or whatever have you, and that wasn't successful for them. So it's not just an easy answer. You know, at 54, I don't have no kids in school, but my daughter, she's 14. And my wife is at home. I'm at home. My father's at my house. And so it's easy for us to deal with it. But for these parents who are still young and dealing with several kids at home, it's a question. I got that issue. Maybe 3 of my kids at Crenshaw, 2 of them at Hawkins, a couple at Viewport that I coached that came through my program, who I always help to try to keep them in line as young men. So
yes, sir. If I may offer, but that's very understandable. Our people are being coerced, and at first it was bribery, threatening, and now it's outright being threatened with livelihood. Brother, if I could, you may already know, but I just want to put a reminder. Our weekly final call newspaper has the Don't Let Them Vaccinate You section, and there's tons of information, about 4 pages, that has information on what's happening with the so-called vaccine, as well as very importantly, what people can do to protect themselves. But I would like to ask you if you would like to, whether Student Minister Abdul Waliullah either can connect with you, or we can follow up on what can be done to speak with the mothers. You mentioned mothers, and I would like to say Minister Farrakhan, the regional spokesperson, the Student Minister Dr. Muhammad, perhaps reach out to her and set up some type of forum where she could speak to these women. But I don't want to speak for her or ahead of her, but if I could get back and connect with you on that, I would love to do that, because as a mom myself, I understand that when we didn't have a pandemic or any problems like that, I still had a big challenge with what to do and how to homeschool, and by Allah's grace, we made it. And also give you information to MUI West for any of the parents who are out here. So can we pick up on that maybe after the call or sometime during the week?
I definitely would like that.
Got it.
We could definitely build on that, because it's going to be a question. It's going to be something that we're going to be confronted with in the next couple of months on a large scale. Some kind of alternative for these children that's not getting vaccinated, because it's real to us right now. It's realer than anything else.
Thank you. Thank you. We definitely will. Brother Kenji, thank you so much for the information as well. So now, Brother Brother James, well, anyone else have any questions? Anyone else has a question? You can raise your hand or type it in the chat. And then what we're going to do now, we're going to go to closing remarks. If I don't see your hand, I'll break in. Brother because you're on location, let's go with you. Round out a few minutes with the closing remark for us at this time, and we'll have another session by God's grace. But anything on your mind about the diabetic program or walks you have, or anything you're dealing with, you want us to know health-wise, that will help our people.
Was that directed towards me, sis?
No, it was for Brother but Brother James, he may have, let's go to you. and then we'll do. Well, actually, let's go to Sister Marcia. I think brother you, Big you had something going on, but let's go with you, Sister Marcia, and then brother James will.
Yeah, we actually. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. We actually.
Got you. I hear you.
Huh?
Yes, sir. I hear you.
Yeah, we actually about to get on the elevator. We got to film this other thing.
Okay. Thank you for everything, and I'll be back in touch with you.
Well, thank you, Big. You appreciate you being on, bro.
Safe travels for you. Okay, Sister Marcia, let's go with you, and then Brother James, your remarks, and then we will go to Minister Abdul Wali Alive. I don't see any other hands. So, Sister Marcia, are you on mute?
Yeah. No, I'm here. I was just making sure.
Okay, great. And so, from the topic of how to eat to live tonight, and any closing remark, anything you want to leave us with for this session?
I would just like to say thank you, sis, for inviting me to be on your panel here. I'm so happy for Brother James that he is doing well by Allah's grace. It was so funny because when Sister Charlene called and asked me to be on this call, she had told me how you had talked to her. And I said, well, that's funny, sis, because it's been a while since I talked to Brother James, and I was like, how is he doing? And so she told me that you were doing well, and I was just so thankful that you were. And I'm thankful to Allah for giving me the guidance, because I don't take any credit at all for anything that I do, because I can't do anything without Allah. And it's through Allah that I gain my understanding and my wisdom. And whenever I'm talking to a believer, whenever I'm talking to one of my patients, or when anybody, I always ask Allah to give me the information that I need to hear, so that I may be able to relay the information that needs to be given to that person in their time at that time. And so my takeaway that I would like to, not take away, but what I would like to leave is become focused on yourself and knowing your body, because your body talks to you. Your body will let you know what is going on. It's just a matter of knowing what part is it trying to relay to you. If you're having frequent headaches, check yourself. Am I drinking enough water? Am I getting enough rest? Am I stressed? What am I not doing, and what am I doing? So just check yourself, do a self-analysis, self-assessment on yourself. If you're having like the bloating and stomach pain or nausea or diarrhea, anything like that, what are you eating? What are you doing? Yes, stress can give you those things, but at the same time, what did you last eat? Or what did you last drink? Or, am I taking in too much sugar? Am I taking in too much fat? Pay attention. One thing I had recommended to Brother James, do a food journal. Write down what it is you're eating to see what is working, what is not working. When I eat this, how do I feel after I eat it? Do I feel energized, or do I feel very tired, or, just want to lay down, got the itis, that type of thing. Food is supposed to give you energy. If you eat something too heavy that your body is going to need a lot of energy to digest, it's going to make you want to lay down and go to sleep. That was something that was possibly too heavy for you. Or maybe you just simply ate too much, at that meal. So also, don't be so hard on yourself if there's a time where you fail. Oh my God, I didn't do 1 meal a day today. Oh my God, I didn't do this. Don't be so hard on yourself, because we are striving. We are working at it. We are all works in progress. And that's why we have the teachings. That's why we have the reminders for us, because we're going to stumble every now and then. Just don't make a habit of it. When you do, look at what caused you to stumble. Analyze the situation. What did you learn from the situation? Don't beat yourself up, because it happens. I'm not perfect at it. I am not perfect at it. I'm still trying to work at it. I'm still trying to get it down, I'm not hard on myself when I fail, but on that next day, on that next move, on that next minute, get back up and you start going. because it's not, time isn't going to stop. But just know yourself, be patient with yourself, meditate on Allah, with Allah, on the words of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the words of the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, because that light in this darkness, we have it. It's right there.
Thank you so much.
Just keep spirits up, because we're in the right place.
Real talk. Thank you so much, beautiful, beloved, and Brother James.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to, leave everyone with a quote from Hippocrates on a documentary that I was watching on food, and pull this quote up that Hippocrates wrote years ago, which really was our information. They just giving it back to us. Hippocrates said, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." I thought that was very informative, because medicine should be our food. And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad prescribed proper diets for us and how to eat to live. I believe, God took me down this journey, to really assess it and learn from my experience so that I can share with others. I'm just stuck on right now, and I'm addicted to making myself great and tap into my human potential, and I believe each and everybody on this line, that's what God, Allah wants for us, to tap into our human potential to be great, so we can take our lives to the next level, because it's going to be a generation that come after us. And we're responsible. The blood is on our hands for teaching our youth that come behind us how to be healthy and how to live a brilliant life. I mean, they can be educated on computers, and we can be educated on the iClouds. I mean, we can be educated in the sciences of the world. But if we don't know the sciences of how to eat and, use food as a medicine, then those gifts are not going to be good for anyone. So I just like to thank all the believers, because everybody that got on this line today, we have medical questions that's going on in our mind. Yeah. We may didn't raise our hand, but we listened. And we pray to Allah that it did spark an interest in us, so that we can take what we learned today and really look deep down into ourselves when it comes to our medical IQs. Because I was a particular person that had trust issues with doctors. I didn't want, white doctors or Jewish doctors that hate Farrakhan, and I'm going in under the name of Muhammad. I used to wonder, why die up under a knife or anything, if anything would happen to me. I mean, what would it be? But, we gotta find out what's wrong with us. There's nothing going there or what's right about you. Yeah. Don't be ashamed to go take them checkups and them tests, and then once you take them checkups and them tests, then you can go about it whichever way that you can go about it. You got the Brother Kirk that was very knowledgeable, Sister Marcia's husband, that's very knowledgeable in the herb game. He gave me the knowledge on so many herbs to get my condition that I've ordered and utilized and help bring down my sugar levels and got me at 1,000%. So it's very knowledgeable people, in our nation. Yeah. And what's missing is we just got to learn to communicate with each other more. We lack the communication. We have everything we need in our nation. We have all the love we need. We just under illusion it didn't exist. When Brother Stephen Muhammad and told me that he prayed that Allah brought me back, and he cried in front of his wife about my condition, that really touched me. His brother called me to his home and had a pot of bean soup, waiting for me, when he realized that I had lost so much weight. So this ordeal has made me even love the nation more and love the believers. Even if I haven't tapped into each and every one, it's love out there. But we just got to learn to communicate and be honest and be transparent about what we're going through, because all the help we need is in the nation.
Come on, Brother James. Man, you are teaching and preaching up in here, and all praises due to Allah. I got chills when you spoke about Brother Stephen, and it's true. The reality is some believers are suffering in silence.
Yes.
How do I know? I used to do that. So you're right, absolutely right. And thank you. And thanks again for everybody who came to Brother, and yeah, he's got an ebook coming out. We're going to make sure that information is there. I put the link to 1 Meal, 1 Mile iMprOVEMENT on Facebook. We'll have a website soon and other different things that we can do that are a little bit more than social media. But before we go, Brother James, thank you so much for being
Thank you, Sister
catalyst for this
Charlene. We
second
appreciate
call.
you.
And
Thank you.
I think I'll find the audio and broadcast the first one that was for sisters only. But before we go, all praise is due to Allah. But anytime Push Crew official, this is a little different, ain't it?
That part. Push Crew official health.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. That's right.
Not push.
Thank you, Sister Charlene. Thank Allah for you. Thank
you. You start me right there. You really can't go in the field if you're not optimum, period.
Oh, no.
Right.
Right.
Thank you for sharing. Just thank you for sharing, because a lot of believers are suffering in silence because they don't want to talk about it.
Yes.
But you have to know that you're not alone.
Yes.
You're not the only one going through it. And the only way you're going to know that you're not alone is to talk to someone, talk to one of us. We're here to listen. We're not here to judge. And like I said earlier, a lot of believers are hard on ourselves because something is wrong or something's not right. But it's sometimes it's usually just something we didn't know. We have to be reminded.
But we just get back up. We fall.
Right, get back up. That's why we have each other.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Marcia. Sister Charlene, we got Brother Tiata at the top. That's one of the brothers that work with our street organizations. He had his hand raised. He wanted to ask a question.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So brothers and sisters will do that. Tiata, I like that. Tiata. We'll take Brother Tiata. I want to read something from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and then we'll have Student Minister Abdul Waliullah. And please go to 1 Mil 1 Mile on Facebook. I put the link there. Join the group. We have, as you can see, some great things getting ready to happen with it. And thank you, all of the sisters who are members of the group.
Thank you, Sister Marcia.
Thank you. Praise be to Allah.
And I would like to just implore you and ask you, please join. And when you do, we want to keep it foundational to how to eat to live, nutrition, fitness, things like that. Not other side products or any other things. And it goes without question, keep it clean. Okay, let's take brother's hand. Okay, brother, let's unmute you. Brother Tiata, I'm trying to unmute you. Unmute your phone. Brother Tiata. So he just has to unmute Brother James, and we'll do that. But in the meantime, I'm going to read from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, How to Eat to Live from God in Person. Brother Tiata, go ahead and unmute your phone. And then after I'm done reading, we'll take your question and comment. So on page 12 of 13 of book 2, in the chapter 3 is called Lengthen Your Life. It's titled Lengthen Your Life. In order to lengthen our lives, we must begin with what we put in us that retains life. Master Father Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, comes to prolong the lives of the believers. There is not a shadow of a doubt that He, Allah, has taken the proper steps to give us more life in order to have and enjoy the pleasures of life. He, Allah, said, what we eat keeps us here, and the same will take us away. Suppose we ate 1/2 pound of food a day. At the end of 365 years, we would have eaten 182 1/2 pounds of food per year. But we eat more than this amount. For instance, if we live 50 years, we would eat 50 times this much food at 1/2 pound of food a day. And so I just wanted to give a little bit of perspective in terms of how much we eat, as some of us may be eating. As Brother James said, by the time he calculated it, it was amounting to about 6 times plus a day. So get the books, How to Eat to Live, Part 1 and 2. And if you don't have them in the meantime, you may read many of the articles in the Final Call newspaper and just Google How to Eat to Live. Most times there are articles from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad there. So going once, going twice, Brother Tiata, Brother James, text him. Do you have it? Can you hear me?
He said he was trying to come off of mute and it wasn't working. So I said, maybe Sister Charlene probably has to unmute you.
Yeah, I'm trying it. I'm because what it's having me do is asking to unmute, and it's not taking them off. So it's on his end because I'm trying to do that, and we don't want to have obviously the prayer before he can say something.
Right.
So let's see.
Every time I keep hitting it, it keeps saying them
Let's do it like that. Can he speak there?
Okay, look, I'm gonna let you speak through the phone right now, so I'm gonna bring you on. Hold on. Hey, this is Brother Chiata. Go ahead, Brother Chiata.
Brother Chiata, our apologies. I'm trying to unmute you, but we have you now, and thank God. Let's go.
Oh yeah, assalamu alaikum to the brothers and sisters there. I just want to tell you guys, thank you very much for being health conscious and thinking about people at such critical times. You know, joining late today. My apologies to you guys. But,
No,
it didn't allow me to unmute, but I really thank you guys. That's what I want to tell you. On your next session, I'll definitely be there bright and early on time to get some input on what's going on in society with our health and our situations and our dire needs that we need to help one another, you know?
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, brother, for your presence.
Thank you, Brother Chiata. That's right.
Yes, I'm not sure why it's not allowing me to unmute you, but I'm so glad, Brother James, that you called him and we were able to get your words to there. We look forward to you being on the next session. And if you could go to Facebook, 1 Meal, 1 Mile, and join the improvement group, that would be great. Everybody.
Okay, great.
Let's just lift each
Sure
other.
will.
Yeah, Brother James, thank you for being a catalyst. Who would have thought that, Brother James, you would be the catalyst for me opening up the group to the brothers?
Well, teamwork make a dream work.
That's right.
Teamwork make a dream work. All right,
That's right. And so in the interest of time, because you all know as well as I do, we may be having another Zoom right now, more happening. So let me, we're over time, and let's bring in Student Minister Abdul Waliullah to close us out in prayer. And thank you all for being with us today. And we pray that you have been enriched and uplifted.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, Brother James, Tia, and all the participants. Let's pray.
Thank you, sir.
In the name of Allah, the Minister. Oh Allah, we beseech your help, we ask your mercy. We believe in you and we trust all that we need. Show us to be better help within serving than thy cause of thine apostle. Please grant to us success. Oh Allah, we ask you continue strengthening of us and we ask you to make our feet firm in your way. We thank you, Allah, for your strengthening of Brother James with full recovery, Brother Lee, and all those that may be on this line that may have been stricken with COVID or other maladies. We ask you continue protection of us as we work hard to be a light to our people. We ask you, Allah, to continue to strengthen us to be better help with the Honorable Minister with Farrakhan, the Messiah in our midst. We ask you continue protection of him and his family and the protection of all the believers in our families. We ask this, Lord, in the name of the exalted Christ, the most humble Elijah Muhammad. I bear witness that none deserve to worship, serve, or pray but you, Allah. And I bear witness that Muhammad is your messenger and servant. Ameen. Thank you, my dear sisters.
Thank you, Waliullah. Appreciate you. Beautiful prayer.
Thank you.
Thank you, family.
We will come back to you all with the next date. And oh, someone's coming in. Brother Bashir.
Bashir on the line.
Praise be to Allah. Well, that's it. I really am I'm blessed by your presence. Thank you to the panel. And may Allah continue to bless us and our families. And as we do our best to obey the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I pray that I see you all on the next session. 1 Meal, 1 Mile Improvement, How to Eat to Live. Thank you so much. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wow.
Beautiful show.
All praises due to Allah.
Thank you so much.
Alaikum